All right, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We have 6 people here, so we do have a quorum. We are missing Scott, Carla, and Kevin tonight. And with that, can we get up and pledge the flag, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Got that done. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last meeting? We talked today.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did, and I'd like to make a motion to adjust the meeting minutes to remove Morgan Rogers from being present last month, because I don't believe he was here.
Okay.
Second.
All right. We know when Morgan's not here.
And it was reported that
We're going to get them when they come up.
okay, but that's part of the minutes, so.
You went back and
I listened to the minutes and that's what
Okay, all right.
Okay. If that's the only adjustment we need to do, can I get somebody
Oh, then move to accept as rewritten?
second? All in favor? All right. All right. I don't think we have any old business to discuss, so we're going to go right into the new business, and it's with Rambo, the MOU with Rambo. Mark, if you could bring your crew up and introduce them.
Good evening, everyone.
And if you would, for the official record, give us your name and address.
Okay, my name is Mark McCabe, 10605 Pine Walk Forest Circle, Alpharetta. And with me today are members of the Rambo board that we're in unanimous support of working with y'all as far as building some amenities in the community. We have Brad Wender, who is the president of Rambo, has been now for probably longer than he wished he has been, but he is.
Thank you.
It's a volunteer. It's a volunteer organization. The only way to get out is to move away or the other way. George Aubrey, who is our Forsyth County director, he maintains the relationship up there with the folks in Forsyth County for Hawk Creek and Charleston Park. And Stuart Thiel, who is our membership director, also works a lot up that way and also a lot with our free ride area at Big Creek Park.
And I'm an Alpharetta resident.
Oh, there we go.
That's right, and you are an Alpharetta resident.
Okay, great. Cheryl, I know you have a question.
So in the minutes from last month, where is this new adaptive trail that we were talking about? Where is that going to be?
That is proposed to be running northwards from Rockmill Park to the overpass that runs from, Brookshire Circle to North Point Community Church. And there's actually an existing informal trail there that people trail run and mountain bike on already. And so it would merge very well, we think, with the whole concept of connectivity that the city of city of Alpharetta has for this, because it would give you an alternative to riding up the Greenway, as opposed to you could then ride dirt. And this is an underserved community. They're the closest place that has an adaptive trail for people who run or ride hand cycles, which are mountain bikes that you run with your hands, or mountain wheelchairs, is in North Carolina. So this actually would be the first one of its kind in Georgia, and I would hope that it might be the first of its kind that we could do here, because there are so many different unused areas in the lowlands along Big Creek that are just high enough that they stay dry most of the time. And as trail builders, we know how to mitigate water on the trails in terms of whether we do things with the dirt itself or we bring in things like broken sidewalk to make a 4-foot wide trail to make a firm path like that. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to actually make a very connective system that will parallel with the hardscape system that you've already invested in. We've invested in, I've invested in, and I'm all for. So that's where that trail is right there.
So it's not over there near Brookside Park? No. Okay, that's what that was my mistake. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So that's what hopefully be the first part of something really big.
Yeah,
Do we have any other questions?
And so we have walked this property with members of Rambo, and it will make a very nice trail. It's really just another alternate for the greenway, if you will. And but folks that are that have special needs will be able to use this trail. So we're really excited about it, and it'll fit in real well with the topography.
Morgan, are they familiar with the work we've done many years, Mount Adams? That's the YMCA.
Probably not as familiar as they need to be. So if you want to do a little 2-minute, I know Brad, 2-minute history update, that'd be good.
Here we go.
No, I've been with Rambo for over 2 decades, and one of the very first things we developed was a small trail system down across the creek behind the YMCA. We call it Mount Adams. It was kind of named after one of our early members who lives up in North Georgia now, but it's still used a fair amount today by runners as well as bikers, and it's probably the first thing we ever did.
I believe it was the first trail that Rambo ever built.
That's great. I'm glad it was here.
There we go.
And that's one also that, especially the lower side, could be made a bit more, for more of an adaptive type trail if we wanted to pursue. If we can succeed with the first section, actually maybe make something that is adaptive trail and then hop on the greenway, and then more dirt, and then hop on the greenway, and then more dirt like that. So, and I said, we'd make it so it's adaptive for people that are handicapped or disabled, that are using special bicycles. But because it's available for those folks that need a little more elbow room, it's available to everybody. So it's a great amenity that everyone can enjoy.
And not only do they develop trails, they maintain trails. And that's, to us, that's more important than the developing of the trails, is the maintenance of the trails, and they do an excellent job of that. They have their work parties, they stay after it when it should be closed, they close it, they make sure their members know. So they do a really good ongoing job. So thank you very much.
So this MOU is just going to formalize what you've already done informally for the past several years?
It does. It formalizes what has happened in the past and gives us a pathway to the future to do other things that they know how the process works for them to do something, how it gets approved, and we know what they're doing. So, yes.
Okay, and then the adaptive path that's being created, that's not really part of this MOU. It's just, I think it's just the concept that we'll work together. Then, like, who pays for the adaptive path? Like, I know there's volunteer time involved, but there's also funding, I imagine.
That'll be a joint effort as we once the route is developed, we see what we have, then we'll see if we have any funds to help with any of the lumber that they need. They'll see what gets donated. So it's really a partnership, and we'll just I don't want to, because there's not a definitive answer to that.
Like a 50-50?
We'll wait to see what they need.
Well, actually, there is not maybe definitive in terms of totals, et cetera, but we are the recipient as a group for a grant from REI Co-op. And we have a significant amount of seed money, and we told REI that this is where we are putting it. If we can get approvals from y'all with the MOU and get permissions from, we know you will give us permission for crossing the property, but there is Fulton County and North Point Community Church that we'll have to talk to about getting permission to legally cross the property. As I said, right now it's just informal trail. But once that's done, then we can then move forward. And our goal is to actually spend the seed money that REI has given us on the development of the trail. Because some places are going to have some machine work done on it in order to make it wider, to cut it into the slope. Because certain grades have to be met to make it usable for folks in hand cycles and wheelchairs. Right? And other areas will have to be armored, so that because they are maybe a little boggy and there's no way that we can really get around that. So we'll be purchasing particular stone, and that will take some labor. And we have a pretty good membership base that comes out and works on projects. And REI really like this project because they're always looking for ways for their employees to work in the community on things like this. So they're very enthusiastic about it from the standpoint of having their employees involved in it.
Thank you. So then, there's no, like, for this pathway, it's not like 50/50 or any future pathways for costing. It's simply, as a project comes up, you guys decide how it goes, then you go forward, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
And I would imagine you folks have done MOUs with other groups, but, you know, it's important for us because an MOU puts in writing what we expect of the land manager and thus what the land manager also expects of us. And it gets rid of any discrepancies, and sometimes we have to refer back to it and see, you know, what did we agree to? Things can be changed down the road, but it gives us a roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just for the record, there is no commitment of funds on behalf of the city for this MOU. But it is a commitment to be a partner as we're moving forward to try to do what we can to meet the needs of Rambo and our citizens. So, but there is no actual commitment of funds.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Has everyone looked over this well enough that we can make a vote, or do we need this read?
No. Move to accept the MOU as written.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all
Thank you.
very much.
This is great.
your work.
Thank you.
We're
I think
looking
it's going to be
forward to
wonderful.
working with you. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Can we do our division reports today? And Amanda, get us started.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Great. Okay, really brief update from the Community Services Division on the marketing front. The school year guide for our activity programming went to the printer today. So Emily put a lot of time and energy working with the divisions on getting all of that content in there, and it looks fantastic. So that did go to the printer today, so we're excited to get the marketing out for that and get the word out about everything we have coming up for the school year. Regarding marketing, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Wire and Wood in a second, but we will be announcing through our PR channels the headliners for Wire and Wood on July 15th, so in 2 days. So we're working on...
You said printed, where, I thought we didn't print stuff anymore, so.
Do some.
We do. We print the activity guide. We don't print nearly as many as we have in the, in years past. We've been reducing that and really directing people, sort of guiding them to go to the digital version. And we did a postcard. I believe a year ago we started the postcard that has a QR code on there, and that drives people to the digital version of the activity guide. But there are still...
Old people, like me.
No, I mean, you like to flip through that. People like to flip through it and make notes, and people whose children are featured in it love to have copies of it. So we don't nearly do the print quantity that we've done years ago.
You'll bring us some next time?
You know what?
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We can show you the cover tonight.
Oh, good. Great. Okay, headliners. So then events. Kind of a shift in direction. Mayor's Challenge, for those of you in Rotary, you probably already know this, but Mayor's Challenge had thought that they were going to do a virtual event. And, because they begin planning that way, way, way back at the beginning of the year. And then just did a reversal on that, and they are going to do an in-person 5K. They've pushed it to September 30th, but that will be an in-person event now, not a virtual event. So we're excited about that. Home by Dark concerts have been going great. The Food Truck Alley First Thursdays have been going great. And we have a lot of event applications still coming in. I know I mentioned that last month, but we are getting new events that are coming in. We have a new wellness event that's going to happen. That'll be new for the city. So we're excited that people are getting those in, and that's starting up again. And then finally on community agriculture, 2 big exciting things. We had our 3-bin compost has finally been installed. I've been talking with you guys about that for a long time now. And Foodwell Alliance not only funded it, but they built it for us. And then they came back a couple of weeks later and hosted a community composting workshop that we were able to invite everyone who, is part of the community agriculture program. We had about a dozen people attend that in the morning, and we did record it. James Drinkard came out and videoed it for us, which is great, so we'll be able to share that knowledge. So we have real composting happening, which is really exciting. And then lastly, on July 2nd, Alpharetta's community agriculture program was featured on Georgia Public Broadcast. And that was really, really exciting. We had about a 5-minute segment on that show, which features all different types of agricultural programming across Georgia, from small, school gardens to very, very large, thousands of acre farming. So we were really excited to be featured there, and it was a really wonderful. The best part about it was that James Grammy, who is one of our most committed volunteers, he probably gives us 20 hours a week at a minimum every week. He was featured in that quite significantly, so that was wonderful. Yeah.
Any questions
That's
for
it.
Amanda? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening. Man, these months fly by. At Wills, we're kind of in operation mode right now. We've had just event after event after event. The good news is that the bridge that the culvert had collapsed in the back parking lot has been replaced. And so it's a lot safer, it's a lot wider. We're actually going to put some fencing on either side, and it's going to act as connectivity through the park as well. So kind of going to serve a little dual purpose there for us. Braves tournament last weekend was a success. Staff did a great job getting the fields ready, prepping the grounds, working the event. I couldn't be more proud of them. They're really stepping up. And then today, we had horses start to come in. So tomorrow we start a 3-week-long horse show. They'll show Wednesday through Sunday of each week, and it's a nationally rated horse show. Bring some of the top riders from around the region. So if you get a chance, come by, check out the show.
3
Nice
weeks?
horses there.
Did you say 3 week?
3 weeks,
Wow.
yes.
So do they just
The
stay or they
hours.
rotate through horses? How does that work?
So basically, their show days will be Wednesday through Sunday, and then they have Monday and Tuesday off. So if we have some local riders, sometimes they'll transport the horses back to their farm. Others will stay for the entirety. So, yeah. So it'll be a lot to maintain for the next few weeks. So, but we're used to it.
But some of the horses will leave, and others will come from weekends, or always, all 3 weekends, it's the same horses.
They'll be rotating in and out, for sure.
Some of them
Different barns. That's correct. That concludes my report.
Any questions?
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I saw in the agenda, some of the groups had their division reports, and in there, it was a discussion of Wills Park, something being renovated there.
Kurt's going to talk about that.
Oh,
It's Kurt's
never mind.
report.
Never mind. I'm like,
Okay. Christine? How are you?
Good, how are you all?
Great.
Good. All right, Recreation Services Division. The programming update, we are halfway through summer. 4 weeks to go, the light at the end of the tunnel. Our staff definitely needed that break over 4th of July week, and they came back refreshed and ready to finish up the summer. I just wanted to highlight a couple of the camps that we have going on. I think I talked about them a little bit last time, and one of them, a new one that we have, is the NOC, which is the Hale Outdoor Center Camp down at Azalea in Roswell on the river. And it's ages 12 to 15. And I just want to share a picture from today. Is that up and running?
So you just take them down there every week? Is that what you do?
The parents drop them off.
In Roswell?
You know how to focus, not to focus it a little, I'm not. Oh, there it is, I'm sorry. There we go.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, so this is just one of the camps we have going on. This is a paddleboard camp. They're doing paddleboarding all week, and they're just loving it. This down here is Claire. She is one of our She's one of our employees, and she's out there with the kids all week long, having fun, helping out the staff. And then that is actually one of my coordinator's daughters on there doing her back bend. Anyway, they're having a great time down there on the camp. It's meeting the needs of our teens in our community. The other camp I wanted to talk about just briefly is our teen camp, which is ages 12 and 13 this year. We have a wait list this next time. We were able to finally get 10 kids off the wait list, but we still have 17 kids on the wait list. It's a very popular camp. We're looking at expanding that next year, but they get to do all sorts of fun things every day. Braves game, whitewater. They get to go to Linear Islands, and they're at the whatever the trampoline place is. They go see movies. They keep them busy every single day. No cell phones. I love that about it. You know, they're forging friendships and just learning to be together and have fun together. And we're hoping that next summer we'll be able to expand that even more because there's a great need for it. We've discovered that even more so than we knew.
So is this a camp that's 2 weeks this summer?
Yes, that is correct. And hopefully we're looking at expanding it to 4 weeks next summer. More if we can. It's going to depend on the budget.
Tell you, my son went to the first week. He loved it. And my daughter, who's not 12 yet, she's 11 now, she was jealous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, next summer.
So that means that Braves and Whitewater's on the next week's, because they weren't on the first week. They're gonna
They were at, what is
They
it?
did Helen. They did.
They did Helen.
They did main event. They did.
Yeah, they've got different ones each week, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This one with the Hale Outdoor Center, that's just been a great partnership. We're really excited. The kids have all been happy at that camp, and we're really looking forward to continuing that next summer as well. It's been very successful. One other camp I just wanted to...
Can I just ask, since that's at a Roswell property, did you have to make arrangements with Roswell, or how did
Because it's a contracted...
Right, that venue there, but it's on, it didn't matter?
So the what is it?
NOC. Outdoor Center.
Contracts to do camps with Roswell.
Right.
And then we contract with the NOC to do our camp. So they had already given NOC permission to bring folks in, and we were just bringing a group in rather than a single individual.
Right.
So we just treat it just like a camp we do here. We have a counselor that's responsible for all the kids that are coming from Alpharetta, so the parents can drop them off, knowing that they're going to be watched and all that. We don't have a river in Alpharetta.
No.
No, we don't.
Well, we might, we just can't use it all.
Yeah. We saw it as a great opportunity to offer some programming that kids
No,
may
it's
not be able
perfect.
to do, so we're really
I
excited
just
about
thought there
it.
would be some conflict with coming and going out.
Yeah. This is one other camp that we have. It's our Chef Experience Camp, and the kids get there. It's Kristen Ridge, which is kind of fun, and seeing all the kids in there, and they get together and they learn different recipes, and they get to try different things, and we're in our second week of it this week, and they're just happy little faces there. So I just wanted to show you some faces of summer. Any questions on those? Okay. Athletics, just real quickly, the Youth Athletic Associations are registering for the fall right now, with the exception of NAFL, who's already done registration. They're going to be starting their practices very soon. We have a new basketball league, which is a 40-plus league, so anyone in this room who would like to join the 40-plus league. We have 5 teams, and they seem to be having fun doing that. We also have our adult softball this summer, and we have a record number of teams of 57 teams for the summer, which is unheard of because people are traveling during the summer, but we have 57 teams. So we're very excited about that. I think people are just ready to get back out and play and have some fun.
That's great.
Aquatics, I want to touch on a rescue that we had about a week and a half ago where our lifeguards pulled a non-responsive 25-year-old male out of the water who had no pulse and was not breathing, and they completely resuscitated him. And it was a success story. So we are going to be honoring those guards as well as the lifeguard team over there at the pool at the City Council meeting on July 26th. So if you'd like to join us for that, we would love to have you here. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I
to that?
do. And this is not something we're giving the lifeguards. This is something public safety is doing. They have a life-saving award. And so since when the gentleman came up, he was not breathing. And before the paramedics got there, our lifeguards had him breathing again. So they literally saved this man's life. So they're going to get a nice award a life-saving pin that's mounted into it. All 4 of them that touched the gentleman will receive that, plus they're going to give a unit citation for everybody there, because according to the public safety folks, our folks did exactly what they're supposed to. The front counter did what they're supposed to. The lifeguards that weren't treating them got the pool cleared, and everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do. So that's going to be coming up on the 26th.
26th.
So it will be the first thing on the agenda, so we would certainly invite the commission to that, because it's, that's nothing braver than to save somebody else's life. So
Yeah.
we're pretty honored to have those folks.
Yep. I've been a lifeguard since I was 14 and never had to deal with that situation. Watching it unfold, they were just so professional and they did everything they were supposed to do. I was so impressed. And it was a great outcome. So we're very proud of them. Last thing, Amanda mentioned, the activity guide is coming out. It should be online by week's end. The hard copies, like she stated, will be here next week. And resident registration starts on the 28th. And this is our happy young man on the cover, and we are so thrilled with this cover. He's just so cute. It's just joy right there. Having fun. And we are gearing up for the school year. So that is where our rec services is at this point. So any questions?
Any questions?
So much better than last year.
Nope. Thank you, Christine.
All right, thank you.
Kurt, you're doing double duty again tonight? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you folks doing tonight? I'm going to report with Eric's division first. Basically, in part services, just like with Matt, it's full-blown operation. Been a challenging year, challenging summer, being short-staffed, but nothing slowed down on the part services side. The expectations in tournaments have been, actually probably had more this year. So, like Matt said, kudos to the staff. It takes a lot of time and effort and expertise to have these fields playable and safe on a regular basis. So we're proud of our part services staff, what they accomplish every day, and their expertise that they bring to the table every day. Other than that, we will be moving into more of the project mode with part services and with working together. Our capital budget and our New Year budget started in July 1st. So we are moving into a lot of different things this year, a lot of challenging things. First of all, Innovation Academy, we're wrapping a lot of the construction side up on that, getting ready to move into the operations side, hopefully in August. The sandblasting finally got done. The weather gods finally cooperated with us on that one. Sandblasting done, which is the biggest hurdle we had to get over. Renovations for the front bathrooms by the home side are completed, and we're going to be working on the most challenging is the home side, the visitor side restrooms. That's going to be a challenge to get that one up and operational. But we wanted to make sure we had at least one set of restrooms going. So once things kick off with soccer and so forth this fall. And as far as the baseball field conversion to soccer, that grading began this week. It's been challenging, obviously, with the rain, but they were making a lot of progress this afternoon. And that should be completed within the next week. And that basically is you're taking the diamond, kind of grading it down to where it'll drain better and be playable for soccer. And the diamond will be just sodded with Bermuda. And then make it basically a soccer field for under 10. Is that correct, Christy? Under 10 soccer. So, Mid-Broadwell Park, we're finally back into a new year. We're trying to get things going with that small project. Somebody made the comment earlier that these smaller projects that seem to be the slam dunk ones this past year have been the most challenging. Mid-Broadwell is no exception to that. So we had some meetings with, we had to basically start over. We got a new tree save, new erosion controls. We had to get all that approved and everything. And so we are on the same page, and hopefully we will get those parts done so we can now start doing the sewer line and hopefully have the restrooms operational within the next, next month. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. The challenging thing on anything right now is getting the stuff to do the job. The job can be done in a day or two, maybe 3, but getting the manholes, getting those delivered, that's always going to be the most challenging part. So that's the unknown, whether it takes a month or 2 months. So.
Eric, is there kind of a timeline on Mid-Broadwell? I've had some neighbors ask.
Say what?
Is there a timeline that we're sort of, I know it's.
Well, the timeline is
Mid-Broadwell?
relative to the materials getting here.
Yeah.
So I would say sometime early fall is our timeline. Now, that is to get the restroom and the area open and usable. That is not to have the part completed with the playground and the trail that the master concept calls for. That's going to come as hopefully the bond money will come, with the bond passes. That's part of that.
So we got to get past the
Oh, so
election.
we don't have money for that.
Yeah, that was the
been
question.
funded.
Now, we only had so much, we had enough money to build Windward Park and to begin with Mid-Broadwell Park. But we did not have enough money to complete both parks.
So
We're
we'll,
hopeful, but it was a challenge that we were striving for, but it just didn't quite happen. Which is fine. You get the hard parts done, which is the restrooms and you get your sewer line hooked up and all that. The rest of it, the playground and the trail, though, once those things get finalized, those will not be as challenging and I don't want to knock on wood, but those are usually a little easier to build and not have as many hurdles to go through.
so will the silt fencing stay up until the playground's put in, or will it come down after the sewer lines are put in?
I'm sorry?
That orange silt fencing?
Yeah, the silt fence will come down when that part, that's only related to that construction phase.
Okay.
It'll come down, so if there's any other erosion control measures for the other parts, then it will come up in another phase, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Town Green was opened on July 1st, thank goodness, and it's still there, and everybody seems to be happy with it. Survived July 4th. With the concern of sparklers and so forth. So it I guess got through the first hurdle. But it's nice. It really is, and everybody's excited about it. And the people were ready to come. And as soon as those fences came down, they were all over it. So we're excited for that project to be done. Recurring playground replacements. We're COVID, and I hope this is the last time I say this, but COVID delayed some projects that were going on. The playground replacement was one. We kind of pushed things back to January before we launched the replacement of the North Park playground. Same thing with our tennis courts. And so those projects will be wrapping up in the next month. But hopefully this next year we'll be able to get into our recurring playground replacement and start doing some stuff this fall and be able to be completed before the end of the budget year. So we got more money to do some playground. We're looking at updating and revitalizing what's called the Kings Ridge Playground for this budget year. So that's what we're working on this year.
We're going to ask Amana for any money for that?
I'm sorry?
We're going to ask Amana for any money for that? It's essentially their playground. I mean, that's why we call it.
Well, we have money to upgrade that area. And
So
that way
let me take that one. We hadn't planned on it because it is now part of our system, and there
Well,
is
it's always been part of our system, but Kings Ridge put it in.
Right.
When they were there, because they knew that they were using it the most, and
Yeah.
and if you had a little counter thing to see who's on it the most, it would be that school behind there that doesn't have any other playground facilities.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but there was never any commitment required for them to replace it, or Kings Ridge originally put it in, and they're gone.
Yes.
So when Amana came in, they were not approached about anything, and so the city just looks at that as a playground that has to be replaced on a reoccurring basis. Now, we have not gone to Amana and asked them, because
To help with that at all? Yeah.
So I'm not saying we can't. I mean, we could certainly approach them, but then if, we could certainly approach them.
I have no objection to leaving it called as it is as Kings Ridge. No, I'm not
Well,
saying
if
that
we-
it should be changed the name because they paid.
Well, if we replace it, then Kings Ridge's name is not gonna be on it, I'll tell you that. So, but it was part of our system, it was put in, and it just is, it comes up due this year, and then 10 years from now, it'll be replaced again. So it's just one of our replacement programs, and we had not planned on going to them and talking with them about it. We could certainly, again, we could if that's what the commission wants us to do, we could certainly approach them. I don't mind approaching them for that.
Can we talk
But then,
about it at
the downside is if we ask them to contribute, then they get input into what it's gonna look like and, who it's gonna serve. Where we're gonna look at it as a playground that would serve everybody, not just school-age kids. Because right now, if you happen to have a 3-year-old granddaughter that lives close to the park and you go over there, that playground, really, she can't play on because it's built for 6-year-olds and up. So what we put back in there will have play for everybody, not just for the school-age kids.
Do you think that's safe with the abuse it's gonna get from the school-aged kids? Maybe we should workshop this.
Yeah, I'll be glad. We could certainly do that.
Okay, we can add that to the list.
Yeah,
Because we haven't done anything on this. This is, the money just became available. So we've got to get through North Park before we start thinking about this one. So we got time to talk about it. We certainly can. We can put it on the workshop. Certainly we can.
yeah, that is part of our initiative, and we were excited about the fact that City Council is supporting us on our infrastructure. And this is an important step to continue on doing that. So, and the same thing with our tennis courts. Wills Park will be finished up in August, and then Webb Bridge is up for resurfacing this year. So, which is part of the reoccurring capital initiative every 5 years. And if we don't do that, you'll get into conditions like Wills Park. If you skip a year or two, it really makes a big difference. So it's very important we stay on track with the 5-year program to get back on track on that. And then one of the big things we're focusing on this year.
Kurt, let me jump in real quick. Just so everybody knows this too, at Webb Bridge, we are going to replace, we're have money for this year to do the tennis courts. Our plan is there's 4 tennis courts at Kings Ridge, got them on the mind, at Webb Bridge that don't get a lot of play. So the plan is to redo 2 of the tennis courts and turn 2 of the tennis courts into pickleball, just so everybody will know. So we tossed around the idea of going in completely and taking out all the tennis courts and putting in pickleball, but those are the only 2 public courts on the east side of town. So we thought it was best to leave 2 tennis courts and then have pickleball on the other courts. And we're hoping to get 6 pickleball courts on those 2 courts, just so you know. So it's not really a replacement. It is a replacement where it's the same service. We're just putting up different kind of nets, just so you'll know, in case somebody asks you.
And then finally, one of the focuses on our repair side this year is working on repairing and some of our athletic fencing at Webb Bridge, as well as North Park. They're much needed. There's some areas that we just need to address for safety, and that's going to be our focus on some of our repair money this year. So, any questions?
Sorry, I wanted to bring up the lights at Wills Park again, the tennis courts. I think last time when I brought this up, I was told that the poles were wood and they were past prime. But when I went back out to check, those are actually metal poles. So it's great that you're repaving it, but you still can't see the ball at night because the lights are shining right in your face. And I was wondering if there's still a way that we could look at those lights to see, they're like baseball lights, like either reflect them down or do something so they're not facing the court where you can't see. Like anytime, right after sun goes down, you can't see the ball. And
you're talking about our light initiative. So yeah, there's 2 parts of that. One, replace the wood poles, which is on our baseball fields, and then also replace any of the cement or metal poles with LED lighting. So that's part of our lighting initiative. But we'll be happy to reach out to our on-call electrician with Mir Electric and see if they could address that, if there needs to be some adjustment. You know, we'll ask them for their, you know, their expertise and make those adjustments. So.
Thanks.
But what really needs to happen is they need to be replaced with LED lights.
So just even pointing them down towards like the ground versus into the middle of the court can't be done?
I don't know if
I mean, I
we
know,
can certainly
ideally
check that.
LED lights are great, right?
Right.
I mean, I agree with you.
Right.
But it's just tough to play. It's been in the
Okay.
for a while now.
Okay, okay, we'll
And
certainly, that's a good idea, Kurt. We'll just ask Mir to go out and see if there's a way that they can focus the lights better, you know, on the
Angle them down,
courts.
yeah,
You
away
know.
from
And there may be some adjustment that needs to be made, and, you know, that's why we have, you know, an on-call service with Mir, and they do a great job. So we'll reach out to them and see if they can help us out with that.
Thank you.
So, any questions?
I've got one. Back at Innovative Academy, now that the sandblasting's done, do we still have to get a structural engineer back out, test the steel again?
I'm sorry?
To test the steel again after the sandblasting was done?
No, they won't have to come back.
Okay.
Basically, through the sandblasting process, you kind of evaluated what was going on and if there was any concerns or so forth with that.
Okay.
The engineer said bring them back out so they would take a look at it. But there were no concerns that were, I guess, brought that they noticed. So, yeah, the structure is in great shape and
Great.
coated and should last for a lot longer than I'll be here. So,
Good. Okay.
any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Kim? How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Pretty easy report tonight. I want to invite you guys out from the Artist Studio, Michael Dillon. We have a show right now going on in the Art Center Gallery, so please stop by. It's a little different. You can touch things. He's a sculpture artist. He works with metal, and he's amazing. And we have 2 of his pieces in Alpharetta, and you can see his stuff really close up. So please come by and see that. We're actually doing an open call for Let's Face It. It's for an upcoming gallery show, and it's a portrait show. So it'll be kind of different, and we're looking forward to that. So in the music area, we had Forge and Flourish this past June, and the reason why I'm kind of pointing that out, it was a huge success. It was a small group, I think it was about 21 students. It was teenagers, and we have a hard time engaging sometimes. So we've been really trying to work on that. But we have 5 professors. I had told, mention it to you, but I just wanted to kind of tell you that the 5 professors worked with them during the week. They did a workshop, they learned, they composed their own pieces, and then they went out and played them in town, and they did a performance in the black box, which was really neat. And so a lot of times with music, people are playing other people's pieces. So by them composing their own pieces, it was a really creative outlet in the music area. So next year, we'll kind of promote that and get you guys out to their concerts so you can hear them. Music Match, we're on a transition month, then we'll start up again in August. We're waiting to see. We haven't heard if we've received the grant from Fulton County yet, so we're still waiting. But we're in a transition month, and that'll start back up soon, hopefully. At the Art Center, camps are going really well. I mean, we are super busy. We have a sewing camp this week. We had a puppet camp last week, and we had a child enrolled that was afraid of puppets, so that was interesting. And I could see it, so we tried to make puppets not so scary, and we approached it a little differently with them. We have Art Studio on the Go-Go. We do that probably about 3 times a week, and we've been using the cart if we can't. We have 2 ways to do it, by the way. We have the cart you drive, and then we have a rolling cart. So if we can't get to a particular area, we'll use the cart that we pull. We are now doing art parties for children and adults. So if you want to do an art party, please come out. We'd love to do one for you. Probably where I've been spending a lot of time is in public art. Been very busy in public art, working with Arts Alpharetta the Culture Arts Committee, and the Design and Review Board and Community Development. We've been initiated, community development is now turning over pieces to us, to cultural services. And what we do is we will have like a sculpture, a mural proposal, and a design. And we take that and we call on Arts Alpharetta to review it. They have a public art review committee, and they give it kind of like a go-through. And really what they're doing is they're helping that person prepare for the actual presentation with the Cultural Arts Commission. And so it's actually been going really well. And I brought an example for you to see. Oh, right, extra copies. I didn't know how well that would show up. The colors may not be exactly right on the screen, but if you look at the layout at the bottom where it says ARIA, where the purple square is, if you look at the top left corner, that shows the approximate location for the mural. On the shorter end that faces north, that faces that top part, is where her face is. And then as she wraps around the corner, her like hands that are kind of going like this, that goes around that longer end. So we've been working with, ARIA was initiated with community development with the Design and Review Board to have a mural on the back of his building. And we're at that final point where he will be presenting at the end of the month to the Cultural Arts Commission for final approval. And once they approve, he can begin painting. But we've been spending a lot of time, it's really very process oriented. We've been working with, we have two other murals that we've been working with. And I wanted to let you know about the A sculpture downtown on, the corner of Old Canton and Milton Avenue. If you're familiar, you're familiar with that. If you walk by it and it looks kind of bad, we are aware of it. The paint is coming off. We're working on it right now. We have some things going on with the HOA and working out ownership of that A. So just bear with us. We're working on it, and I hope we'll have something wrapped up in the next month or two. So. The feather, I don't know if you're familiar with that piece. It's in front of La Casa. That's becoming a permanent piece of our collection. So I think it fits perfectly right there, and we're thrilled to keep it here. So in the history section, Living History Camp was a lot of fun. We had the kids loved being at the cabin. It was just like kind of old school kind of camp. We'd have somebody come in and talk about, arrows, Indian head arrows. Another camp, they showed them how to do folklore dancing, and it was a huge success. And we'll do it next year and expand it out a little bit more. Been working with the Alpharetta and Old Milton County Historical Society. We're doing an MOU that will include the Mansell House, the log cabin, and the archives. It'll be one MOU, and what we're trying to do is our MOU previously that had the Mansell House, we're mimicking our partnership with them that same way with the log cabin. So we'll do a lot of things like we take care of the building, they take care of what's inside the building and the rental. So we're mimicking a lot of those aspects. And their board is reviewing it, and then our team, legal and Morgan, will all be going through it one more time. So, any questions?
What is this? Not artistic.
Oh, it's a,
I can see the.
it's our bird, it's our state bird, thrush.
Is that what it is?
It's a brown thread.
Brown thrasher, thank you. I know there was a color, but it's a brown, he's like got a nest in her hair.
Okay. Mr. Director.
So a couple of things I'd like to mention is, one is if anybody knows anybody that is interested in any part-time work, we are in desperate need of people to work 20 hours or so, particularly in our parks. We're just having a hard time finding part-time people. So if you know of anybody, please send them our way. I also want to mention the July the 4th fireworks. I don't know if anybody who had an opportunity to see the fireworks, but they were just outstanding this year. Christine and her crew, particularly Will Penscott, led that effort, and they really turned out well. We didn't do anything but the fireworks this year. We did put out some porta-johns, and we had staff trying to keep the park clean. But we didn't do any food trucks, we didn't do any face painting, we didn't do any entertainment, and everybody seemed to have a good time. So unless we get direction otherwise, that's probably just what we're going to do in the future, is just shoot the fireworks and let everybody else worry about their own entertainment for the day. So it turned out really well.
I got one thought process. It was the best fireworks show I've ever seen.
Yep, I agree.
But half the crowd was looking in other directions. So when they started shooting fireworks off, it was behind a lot of people. Is there any way to kind of fireworks will be fired from over here type thing? So.
Usually the first one will correct that.
Pardon?
The first firework will usually correct
Well, that did direct it, but it was a kind of a mad stampede to get people turned.
So where were you at?
Right there by the house that's over there, I forget the name of it. We were sitting on the side of the hill by the big baseball field there.
Uh-huh.
And then the fireworks were going off behind the field on the other side of the walkway
Okay.
over there.
So they weren't by the equestrian like they used to.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, they're the same place we've always shot them from.
So it's always coming from the equestrian center.
Yeah,
Okay.
from that back parking lot. So we actually tried an experiment that we had some we got 4-foot balloons and filled them up with helium and put one up at 300 feet and one at 600 feet because that was the range of the fireworks. But every time we did it 3 times, and every time the wind pushed the balloons down and got caught in the trees. So we were hoping that, come July the 4th, we would tell everybody to look for the balloons and you'd be able to see them. We're going to have to get bigger balloons, I guess, next year. But I don't know how we can address that, John, other than.
Just a thought. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a lot, evidently, besides myself, there's a lot of new people.
Yeah, maybe we could ask the fireworks folks, because they do a shot and then they're supposed to wait about 3 minutes before the show starts. Maybe we could do it a little bit sooner, or have more of a gap so people would know where it's coming. Because I agree with you, it was, I knew where they were going to shoot from, so I was watching them the whole time, and it was just an outstanding show.
It was a
The finale just kept on going. It just.
Tremendous crowd.
Yeah, it was. Cool. So just want to let everybody know, we decided if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we're just gonna leave it like that, because in order to do the entertainment and the food trucks and all that, it takes a tremendous number of staff to come on. If we don't need to do that, we just go with the staff that has to work that day. So.
On the next year's thing, any thoughts on music to go along with the fireworks?
Well,
what I mean is a website with a podcast,
Yep.
play that a person on a
Yeah,
cell phone can listen to it,
Yep.
and it'll go with the music with the thing.
Yeah, I think we can think about that, we can do we can figure it out somehow or the other, that, whether we find an FM radio station that,
Or something.
at the low, what is that, hertz or something like that.
Frequency.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's a good idea, because fireworks are better with music. There's no doubt. If you have the nice patriotic music playing in the background, it's really good. So, good idea. Last thing I want to mention is that, we did, the fiscal year 22 budget was approved by Mayor and Council, and there's no major changes in the budget as far as we're concerned this year, which is good news since we lost a lot of money the year before. Not losing any was good news for us. We'll tell you that we still have 2 frozen positions, and they're in the parks. One of them is at North Park, and one of them is at the Greenway. There are facility tech positions, and they're still frozen, and I ask about every 10 days. And so far, I've been told that we can't fill them yet. So it's coming. During COVID, we have lost 3 positions. We lost an administrative position, Amy's position, Amy Rickman, that we lost her position, and we've lost 2 facility tech positions, but they're being filled. Those are being filled by contracts or coming in and cleaning the building. So, but I would tell you we've lost 3 positions. There was some additional money put in the budget for us this year. The big one was the replacement of the boardwalk at what I call the old Buffalo Wild Wings. Right now it is closed. we absolutely had to put plywood up to keep people off because it was dangerous. It was just falling apart. And so there was part of the rescue money that came down from the federal government. $2 million was allocated to replace that boardwalk.
Good.
And it's going to look like the boardwalk on the Greenway over here. It's going to be done right. And it's like Kurt said earlier, we won't ever have to worry about that again.
Oh, so we're just gonna tear up that whole vertical?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All out.
I'd like to bomb it. I'd like to put a
Yeah.
bomb and just blow it
Well,
up.
ever since it's been
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. So,
20 years worth, that
yeah.
was just
Wait, DOT.
We got that. We're excited about that because it really needs to be replaced. We also got an additional, since we opened Preston Ridge Community Center this past year, we got an extra $40,000 for the operation of that for part-time employees and for the supplies and those kind of things. We got an additional $60,000 for Innovation Academy for the operation and the upkeep of Innovation Academy. We got some of our travel and training money back, not all of it, but some of it. And we got, in the budget, there is $50,000 for us to
Pay the power bill?
yeah, to pay the power bill. There's $50,000 for us to try to find somebody to pick up the trash in downtown Alpharetta. Currently, there are 80 trash cans in Alpharetta that need to be emptied every day, sometimes twice a day. We are currently emptying all the trash cans on the east side of Highway 9, and Public Works is emptying them on the west side. So we're trying to put all that under one contract, so all of our trash is picked up at the same time and in the same manner. So if we do that, that will free up some of our parts guys to do other things, particularly at the Innovation Academy. So we're excited about that possibility. I don't think $50,000 is going to be enough.
twice a day, just on the weekend though, right? Not during the week?
No, on the weekend, during the week, it's just once, but on weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, you need to do it early in the morning and halfway through the day. I mean, not all the trash cans, but you never know which one it is going to be. So, Eric is the lead on getting that together, and we're working hard to try to get that. But I think we're going to have to go back to Mayor and Council and ask for a little bit more money. But I think we're in the position where we can ask for additional money for that. So that's the highlights from the budget. I'll be glad to answer any questions. We got all of our reoccurring money for the tennis courts, for the Greenway, repairs on the Greenway, and all of our normal reoccurring money. So we're excited about that. Try to catch up. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
That's it? Anybody else have any questions or concerns? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. They were part of Rambo, so I.